So bear with me as I went live. Starting. There we are. There we go. Hi guys. Really little bit. Just so you guys know, I'm also doing the rocket event in Pokemon Go. So if I'm looking down, it is because I am playing Pokemon Go on my phone. Not gonna lie, I'm addicted. But hey, I have cosplayed as Spark from Pokemon Go. Thank you to my friend Carrie when she returned home to her country. She let me keep her Pokemon Spark outfit. So now I cosplayed Spark. Hi Kate, how are you today? So it looks like my first Pokemon is Click. Ooh, that's gonna be a hard one. But yeah, it is really fun to cosplay as things that you like. So here, I think Spark's adorable, so it was kind of nice to be able to cosplay him. But otherwise, I mean, always do what you find is comfortable for you and what you like. For me, cosplaying is a lot of work, but it is fun. I need to do it more often, but I at least get to talk about it and share my interests with other people. So as I try to demolish Spark over here, glad to see you're doing well, Kate. Or yes, Cliff here, not not Spark. Spark is the one I've cosplayed. See, this is what happens when you get distracted. But hey, it is still fun, regardless. But of course, I wanted to do the Pokemon Go rocket event because I need rockets. But at the same time, I did not want to cancel on you guys again. So here we are, doing the rocket event and Pokemon Go at the same time. Multitasking. Something I love to do, something I'm not always good at. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. So I don't know why it's said that I have been on here for 13 minutes. That doesn't seem right. I've only just started. But yes. What do you like to do outside of cosplay and Pokemon Go? Okay,
Love yoga.
I hate yoga. Sorry, my husband's making a joke here. I do yoga for exercise, especially as it's one of those things that you can do in your home, though we don't have a lot of space, to be honest. So it can be a little difficult doing the yoga at home. But it is definitely something that is good for your health and it helps you stay in shape. And think of it this way. When you're doing, for those of us who do, hey Anthony, I see your question. I'll finish answering this and then I'll happily do it. Hope you're well. But for those who have taken and done modeling with cosplay, you'll find that when you're taking pictures, you end up in some really interesting poses to get those shots. I mean, I've been in trees, I've been standing on frozen lakes, I've been holding myself in awkward positions. So yoga could actually be useful for that if you think about it. And yes, Kate, I know you love yoga. I do yoga with Adrian. It's one of the few things I can tolerate, but exercising me, well, it's a work in progress. We don't have a very close relationship, but it is something I have been doing pretty much every day these days. I might take a day off once a week. So there is that. But everybody's different. As for favorite Eevee evolution, that's a really hard one. I love them so much. Like I love all of them. But maybe might be the original Eevee, followed by Flareon, just because I'm a big fire type person and I like my fire types. But I think the original Eevee is my favorite, and if I got the chance, I would like to make some of those cosplays where they're the human versions, particularly of Arcanine. Let me see. Human Pokemon costumes. Let's see. What are they called? Gajinka. There we go. Gajinka. I would love to do one of the Gajinkas. I think they're beautiful. I love them. It hasn't happened yet, but I particularly want to do Arcanine, and of course the Eevee evolutions are amazing. Would happily do those as well for cosplay, but has not happened yet. And to get good ones, you usually have to get it custom made or make it yourself. And if you've paid any attention, not exactly my strong. But hey, here's what it is. And yes, she is one of the few, Yoga with Adrienne is one of the few ones I can actually tolerate. So I would say she's pretty good. I'm glad you like her also. I do recommend her for those who want to do yoga. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, like I said, for Pokemon cosplays, I've done Spark. I also would like to do the Gajinkas of course, many of the Eevees, at least Flareon and Eevee themselves, and of course Arcanine, which is my favorite Pokemon. Otherwise, let's see. I feel like there was something I was going to talk about today. Oh yes, some of you may have noticed what I have changed my schedule a bit. I don't normally do AMA on Thursday evenings. I used to do them Sunday afternoons, but I find that posting every day can be very stressful. And, I am doing this as a hobby. It is something that I love, but unfortunately is also something that, it does take a lot of time commitment. And so it's like, it's not like I'm going for 1 million followers and stuff. So, hey, if that ever happened, cool. But don't see that happening. So I'm going to alternate my schedule a bit. So I'm going to show you great cosplay items, or I should say fun, nerdy items, give advice. I'm going to alternate doing AMA and streaming, mostly Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, to just give myself a little more space. That way we can, post extra on days that I maybe don't have something going on, but it's not as, frustrating. And hello, hi. Have you ever caught any interesting shinies? Um, let's see. My most recent shinies. Shiny. Recent. So, my most recent shiny was Landorus, and then a wild Jigglypuff. I always go after the new ones, but of all the shinies that I have caught, let's see. One that I'm really proud of, I got traded to me, was a shiny Squirtle. That is, where is he? Yes, the Halloween Squirtle. I got the Hundo Halloween shiny Squirtle that was traded to me in a lucky trade. So that's probably my favorite shiny right now. Though, of course, Charizard's an amazing shiny. Can't argue with Charizard. But favorite all-time Pokemon, Kate, is still hands down Arcanine. I love Arcanine. Let's see, any other interesting... Yeah, any other interesting shinies recently? But for those of you who can see, my husband is amazing, and I'm actually sitting in the living room cold right now, but he got me this awesome Arcanine blanket. I have a Arcanine ornament that was hand painted and crafted that he got from Russia, I think, ordered from Russia. I've got Arcanine earrings. I have a knitted Arcanine from Harley Calamity. She doesn't necessarily raid too much or cosplay too much these days, but she's pretty awesome. She knitted an Arcanine for me. It was a custom that I ordered from her. So, yeah, Arcanine. And yes, I do have the, making sure I see everybody's comments. I do have the shiny Arcanine and Growlithe in my, thing, my decks, my Pokemon storage. But yeah, you guys should tell me what your favorite all-time Pokemon are and your best shiny that you like or got if you guys are players. Unfortunately, I have not yet cosplayed Arcanine. It's gonna happen one of these days, though. I really want it to happen. But yeah. So let's see. What else can we talk about? Since there's not many, most questions are Pokemon Go related today. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan. So let's see other questions I can answer. Okay. Origin, cosplay name origin. So, yeah, Eevee's a good one. Machoke, oh yeah. Best Pokemon. Fair enough. I'm a big fan of, big fan of Marvel also. You got me there. Yeah, Machoke, shiny. But why not Machamp? Why specifically Machoke is my question. Why Machoke? All right, so, another rocket balloon. Yay! So a random question from my cosplay interview questions is story of the origin of the name. So, as many of you know, my last name starts with a D. That's the Jess D Cosplay. But why did I keep it? I actually thought for a while about changing it to something more interesting, more fun. But I cosplayed a bit in America. But for a while, when I got really interested in cosplay, I was actually in South Korea at the time, and unfortunately, I do not speak Korean. That is not anybody's fault but my own. I wish I studied better, but I was mostly teaching English over there, so it is what it is. But to make it easier, when I got invited to the Korean cosplay group, they just started calling me Jess D because it was easier for them to remember. And so it just stayed. By that point, I had gotten so many professional pictures from these Korean photographers, and like everybody, like I printed off business cards and just left it as Jess D because like they all knew me as that. And it was just by the time I came back to America, to the U.S., it just kind of seemed silly to change it after I'd been Jess D for so long. So it stuck. So I'm still Jess D Cosplay, but there is another Jess D Cosplay. I think she's a Canadian cosplayer, but I noticed when I first went to make my DeviantArt account and Jess D Cosplay was already taken, I was like, oh, okay. She does a lot of steampunk and things like that, which is really cool. You should definitely check out the other Jess D Cosplay as well. She's got a really steampunk goth vibe going on, and she looks awesome. So definitely go check her out if you ever get the chance. Other questions. We got about 15 more minutes for those who are interested. See, we have Eevees and Machokes. And, okay. So then, a little quiet today, nothing wrong with that. Let me find another question to answer for you guys. What are some lessons that you've learned? Okay. Some lessons that I've learned through cosplay. But first, now it's cold and now this heater. 1 second. Now it's too hot. Sorry guys, still here. But some lessons I've learned. That is a good question, Kate. I will come back to that. So something to be aware of in the cosplay community is not everybody's your friend. So I am grateful that most of the cosplayers that I've met have been super nice and stuff. There are many times that there are also, you know, some crappy ones too. And as much as we want to avoid that, we have people who are elitists who think because they can make costumes that they're better than everybody else or that they're big time. Like, thankfully, again, I've been lucky I haven't really run into them, but I know others who have had their experiences ruined. So that is something like the cosplay community, though many are open and very nice, it's still got problems like everybody else. Another thing I learned is always carry a sewing kit with you. Just purchase a little travel sewing kit and keep it with you, especially common thread colors that you are likely to use with your costumes, because I don't think I have ever gone to a con where somebody, whether I saw a stranger or myself, somebody had a wardrobe malfunction. Whether small or large, it happens. Always carry a small sewing kit with you. So I'm going to go over to what kind of maintenance do wigs need for your cosplays. I need to take better care of my wigs. It's not my strong point, not going to lie. But one thing to consider with wigs is they tangle. And I've heard different things for different people. But some of the things I do is I will actually like put a little conditioner in my wig to help with the tangling, detangling spray as well. Also, when you're brushing it, it is better to finger brush your wig, because like a real brush, like a brush that you would use for your hair, would ruin your wig. So you either need to get a special wig brush which has really wide, blanking on the name, tongs, or not tongs, but I know I'm gonna think of it after this, and it's gonna happen, but the teeth of the brush need to be wide, which is why finger combing, if you don't have a wig brush, is the way to go. Also, make sure when especially with longer wigs, if you're brushing it, start at the bottom and work your way up, just like you would with your normal hair. I'm bad about that myself, but like your real hair grows back. Wig hair does not. So keep that in mind. I also recommend that you actually buy quality wigs. It's worth the money. They have more fibers, they last longer, they're sewn better. Like, don't get like, if you're going to be a cosplayer and you're going to use it a lot, don't get a party wig. Get something of quality. But yeah, I used Tangler, I've used conditioner, I've used... Also, don't hang dry them. If you are going to wash them, like, I've gotten really sweaty, and like the makeup, especially like trying to blend the wig in, the makeup will bleed into the wig. Like, if you're going to wash the wig, lukewarm water. Again, not all wigs are heat resistant. And don't hang dry it. Spread it out on like a table or something, because if you hang dry it, it pools it pulls the strands and it stretches it out, which makes it more fragile. Which is why it is important to lay it out instead of letting it hang dry. Just since we're still talking about wigs, I'm going to answer that second question, Kate, first. Would a comb with wide teeth work for a wig brush? It would depend on how wide the teeth are, but yes. If it's wide enough, definitely. I don't have my wig brush anywhere near me right now because it's all packed up because I haven't cosplayed in a while. Okay, enough of that. But depending on how thick, how wide they are, the wider the better. So like the really thin ones and the second option are too thin. But I know there are really wide ones that you can use. All right, so worst cosplay malfunction. Hmm. I mean, I've definitely gotten makeup on some white costumes. And I'm talking like foundation that doesn't like to come out. That is a pain. That is not fun. But it is what it is. I'm not sure that would count as a terrible one, like if you can hide it, but I've had some like that were hard to hide. That wasn't fun. I've had, and this is one of the reasons I always recommend wearing safety shorts. Short shorts under any skirts. I don't care how long they are. I don't care if they go to your ankles. But that's one of the reasons that I always recommend wearing safety shorts is I have, and very gratefully, was wearing shorts that day underneath. But like, say you cross a really windy area, I've had my, and like glass windows at a store, like I've had my skirt flip all the way up. No lie. Like, that's embarrassing. I've had shoes break on me or blisters from shoes that I wore perfectly fine one time, but the next time it gives me massive blisters. Like, I don't get it. But that's another thing. Always keep band-aids on you. Skin tone band-aids, preferably. Because I don't think I've gone to a con where I haven't needed somebody hasn't needed a band-aid. So just like that travel sewing kit, band-aids. Band-aids, band-aids, band-aids. Let's see. Any other malfunctions I can think of off the top of my head? I know I've lent my sewing kit a few times to people whose costumes ripped and stuff. But, oh, not sure this is, let's just say I ended up being sparked the entire Otakon weekend, but I was supposed to do Alice in Wonderland. Because it was just a costume my friend gave me, and I didn't think, like, her costumes and I were like, we fit, so I didn't think anything of it. She just gave me the costume, and I put it on, and let's just say I try to stick with school-appropriate costumes. I am a teacher also, so I took one look at that costume, took it right off, because let's just say it did not work or fit. So that was definitely a malfunction. That did not fit at all. Would have been cool to be able to do it, but nope, nope. So instead I wore my not stinky because we often, when we go to cons, we rent an Airbnb, and if it says laundry, it's worth the extra money. You are going to be sweating like crazy. Like, for convention specifically, an Airbnb with laundry is the way to go. So thankfully I could do laundry every night, and because I would have friends staying with us, it would be like my husband and usually two other cosplayer friends of mine all together, and we would do our laundry every night because, yeah. So thankfully, despite the Alice in Wonderland costume not working out. Yeah, that costume never got worn. But I just watched Spark each night and watched it. Though my husband does complain sometimes because I go a little overboard with my cosplay, and even when I'm sick and at cons, I will try to go off on my own, and if my husband would not take me, I get lost. So let's just say, a lot of medicine those days. So make sure, take care of yourself. I've learned that sometimes it is okay if you cannot do everything in the con. It is better to small doses. I mean, I get it, they're expensive. We don't want to miss out. We paid for it. So keep in mind that, we do get sick. We do, unfortunately struggle, but it's okay to do some stuff, but know your limits. Don't go all out if you're sick at a convention. I know you want to, you paid a lot of money for it, but take care of yourself. And again, it's part of why I changed my schedule here to focus on 3 days a week instead of every day each week, just so it'd be more reasonable and we could all, relax a bit. But I do hope you guys enjoy these. I know AMA so far has actually been one of the more popular ones, surprisingly. I didn't think y'all would care about listening to me to talk, but hey, if you guys are willing to listen to me, I'm happy to continue doing these. Questions, I mean, somehow I've always managed to spend 30 minutes and talk, so I'm always happy to do it. And yes, hey, very good advice. Stay hydrated. Bring snacks with you. Like, that's one of the things I'm always telling cosplayers, especially because everything is super expensive. And I mean super expensive, right? So you want to make sure that you bring some reasonably priced snacks with you as you go to conventions, because those conventions aren't. Yes, I have made that mistake myself. But like, if you're driving to the con, especially, put a case of water in your trunk, put like cheap food and snacks, because it gets pricey after a while. We have about 2 minutes left. Does anybody have any other questions as we start to wrap this up? No? Not a problem. I want to thank you all for joining me today. It is always a pleasure to do this. It's always nice to see the different questions and interact with everybody, even if it's just one or two of you. Or if we end up talking about Pokemon Go, we can talk about Pokemon Go. There's nothing wrong with that. So, if anybody has any questions, as always, let me know. And if I didn't answer your question this time, you are welcome to come and, leave it in the comments. I can always answer it next time. And yes, just making sure I've answered all of the questions in the chat. Yeah, all right, we're good. So again, thank you all for coming. It would not be worth doing this if y'all didn't come, so thank you. And have a good day, guys. Take care. Bye.